Good day, everybody. Good day. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday, episode 25 coming at you. Can you believe it's another week gone by? It's just amazing when I do this. It's just like, I guess, going like to church on Sunday. It's like, I can't believe it's another Wednesday. Um, Thank you. Thank you for joining. We got quite a crowd gathering already tonight. That is really exciting. I am solo tonight, so no guests tonight. So that means you have my undivided attention. And you can ask me anything. This is what this is all about. What's Up Wednesday is all about van life, the RV systems, travel, whether you're no time, full time, like me, no awards for living in a van, let me tell you, or no time. So researching and just welcome to another What's Up Wednesday while you're joining us live or watching the replay. We got a big show for you tonight. Let me kind of scan through what's going to go on. 25 consecutive weeks doing What's Up Wednesday now, and we are getting some serious traction. I just love it. Coming at you live from near Detroit, Michigan. We're about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes from downtown Detroit, which I will be exploring this weekend. I've never been to Detroit ever before. And we're coming at you live. Let me zoom in for you here from Pontiac Lake Recreation Area. It's a state campground. It's $22 per night. And if you are ever in this park, I have not been on the West Loop, but I can tell you on the East Loop, you will want to stay in site either 131 or 132. I'm actually coming at you from site 132. I've been over on the other side, which is 131 for the last few nights. That's probably the best site. We got a video coming up about that, by the way. And it's just really cool space. Fun park, pretty inexpensive, $22, right? Not bad. Where on earth are you watching from? We've had some awesome people come in from all corners of the globe, and I would love to know where you are watching from. So type that in the chat, please, so we can give a shout out to those that are from countries far away from where I am in the United States of Michigan. And we'd like to even show their flag of what that country is. Qatar is one of our more recent ones. So where are you watching from tonight? Please get that coming in. We got three big announcements. We're going to go through that right now. Let me talk about edited videos coming back to YouTube. I took a month off. You're going to see the next video coming out on July 3 because I was frankly burned out on YouTube and I just needed a break. Still did my YouTube live, which I am totally committed to this. But many folks have started asking, where's the videos, dude? And people get nervous. Some people that were YouTubing don't even have vans anymore. So the good news is edited videos return on July 3 this weekend. And I've got all kinds of content coming out in a vengeance, van tours and travel. And so that was a big announcement, number one. Big announcement number two is we're going to expand the guests joining this show. I've been thinking about this for quite a while now, and we're going to have RVers join the What's Up Wednesday as a guest, whether you've been in it for a few weeks, a few months, or even a few years. I think there is great value in learning from folks that are in an RV. Don't have to be full time, but why did you buy? Why did you want an RV? Why did you buy the rig you bought? What has your experience been like? Again, in your first few weeks, first few months, and over the years. And we have an announcement tonight on our first What's Up Wednesday RVer guest. I think they're even in the audience tonight. Beyond intention. So that's big announcement number two. In addition to the guests being RVers from the audience, we still have big brands lined up, and they are. We've got some cool stuff we're working on right now. And then last big announcement is to this audience that follows What's Up Wednesdays knows that we are launching very soon for Route 66, Chicago to LA. And we are going to actually start a caravan on the morning of July 15, which is in Pontiac, Illinois. It's about, 45, 60 minutes kind of southwest of Chicago. Super cute little town, super cool Route 66 history. And we're going to take off from Pontiac, or we're going to caravan, whether you have a car or a van, about 150 some miles to Springfield, Illinois. So put that on your calendars. If you want to join us, that would be great. More information coming on my website very, very soon. But that is the other big announcement. I've got a date on the calendar to caravan, if you want to join us, from Pontiac to Springfield on July 15. So I hope you're excited about that. I am I am really getting excited. The more I talk about this with the inner circle and folks, it's a big deal. I'm really excited to do these cool things with you. That's what this is all about. Um, we mentioned this last week. We are seriously on the move, and this is going to be a big shift in the channel content, and that's to travel. So this is the route plan over the next through the end of the year, really. And so if you're into travel, if you're into vans, if you're into RVing, you'll want to subscribe to this channel because we are going to show you some stuff that I have never seen, probably maybe you've never seen, and that's the whole point, is just to share these little things. Mentioned Route 66, July 15, we're going to kick off there. No guests tonight. However, we got upcoming guests. So we've got Nick, the general manager of Forest River's Coachman Division. They're Class B RVs. Nick is going to join us on the 14th. Spent a whole day with him just about a week ago, a little more than a week ago. He is really pumped to join you. And look at this. Beyond Intention in the house tonight, I think, and I saw them. And Chris and Cassandra are going to join us as our very first RVer guest. Met them at a channel roundup, and they are the coolest couple with an awesome cat, Benny. They live in their Travato 59 GL. So they have agreed for us to come on. They've had it for what, correct me if I'm wrong, about 4 or 5 months now, right? Maybe 6. I'm sure Chris will correct me here. But they've been the first ones. I've already got a bunch of others lined up. So I'm really excited. I think having let them share their stories on the why, the what, the where, the when, and all that business is just going to add to the sense of community here, because this is not really about me. It's really about all of us learning together and sharing and deciding what's best for you. And I'm still working on Storyteller. I would love to make an announcement on that. If you want to be an RVer guest, please email me at GSLL Viewer Recommendation at gmail.com. That is a special place to go for putting in, hey, I want to raise my hand. I got a few people again already signed up, and a short list already made, but we want to do that very, very badly. So let's see what's up. July 10. Hey, if you're in the Chicagoland area, we're doing Vans on Madison, a live roundup. We're meeting at 9 a.m. on Saturday at Louis Grill. I'm hoping to line up, I don't know, half dozen vans in front of his grill. It's a 1950 style diner. Have breakfast. And if you've never been to Forest Park, it's super cute little village, and it's right next to Oak Park. And if we get a wild hair, we can go do a caravan to the Frank Lloyd Wright House and Museum. That's in Oak Park, just a few, maybe a mile away. So that's coming up. I am asking you to sign up for a free Eventbrite ticket, just so I can keep track of how many are coming and have a sense that we'll be doing more of that, including the Route 66 kickoff in Pontiac. So, but come join us for that. That's going to be great. Hey, stay informed. YouTube's a great platform, but it's not great for kind of giving quick updates. So we're doing a twice monthly email newsletter. And gosh, get on Instagram. I've got about 1,000 followers now, which is crazy to think about. I post almost daily there. I posted watching the SpaceX launch from my van earlier today, just a half hour ago. So if you want to kind of see where's Scott, what's the latest and greatest, what's going on, what's he doing, something cool and different, education, entertainment, always getting posted there on Instagram. So just go to Instagram, follow me on, it's a search, Go Small, Live Large. This is a video we did last week, the What's Up Wednesday, the wrap failure. I've had a lot of comments on this, really positive. So if you haven't seen that, check that out, because we spent a fair amount of time on it. Even did a live tour on it, which was pretty fun. This is the video you'll see on Saturday coming out. Burned out. Yeah, I just needed a break. I hate to sound like a whiner. Nobody feels sorry for me. I'm living the dream. I get it. But I just needed a break. And are you ready for this? Was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, Sunday? I actually slept in until noon on Sunday. I can't tell you. It's been months since I've slept in. So I'm kind of proud of myself. My mom says I'm taking care of myself better. Thanks, Mom. But it's not really a whiny video. It's about, hey, this is the situation, this is the reality, and here's what we're going to do going forward. So it's actually kind of an uplifting video overall. So watch for that coming out. And let's see, what else we got? Oh, RV news coming up. We got question of the week. It's all about Paul's question here. What kind of work do you do? Which I think the underlying question is, how am I making money to afford doing this? So we'll want to watch for that. Of course, we got our song of the week and our pet pick of the week. You get a smile on your face for the pet pick of the week, which is great. All right, so let me scan the questions. They're coming in here. I see Joe from Cutter. That is awesome. Thank you, sir, for coming in. Get those questions coming in. We use the format here which is, where's my format? Oh, well, this is a format right here. 3 stars, 3 question marks, watching from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Hey, Gary, thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate that. We just got a bunch of fun folks in here. Joy's in here. We've got Michigan in the house tonight. That's awesome. Yeah, here's what I was looking for. This is the format. So get those questions rolling in. It's got to be something on your mind. I would love to answer that. So Rochester's saying that Rochester Hills is 35 miles north. He was here just last week, 30 minutes from your house. It's a pretty cool state park. Yeah, I'm really kind of impressed, actually. So the weather here tonight is, it's going to be 67 tonight, but it's been hot-ish and humid and tons of rain. And every time I literally step outside my van, the bugs are like, "We've been waiting for you, man. Come on out." And I can't get to the bug spray on the picnic table fast enough. They just love this white boy and my white meat or something. I don't know, because I literally step out and there's already one of those horse flies on my hair. It's just the craziest thing. So it's just great. Kalamazoo in the house. Yeah, I'm really, so Mary Dean says the art museum is supposed to be great in Detroit. I'm really excited. I got a short itinerary going to be um, just a couple days. Then I'm headed to Toledo, Ohio to do some Volta training. So this is going to be a crazy week. It's been a crazy 2 months. Yes, Beyond Attention, 25 shows. That's a lot. That's a lot of shows. I'm really excited. When we get to 52, we'll see if we want to keep doing this or not, but we're halfway there. Sherry's coming from Wisconsin. She has an Embassy RV on order, so that's great. And let's see, Steve's got a question here, so let's get those questions coming in. I know there's some things on your mind. Let me get Sherry off the screen here. Sorry. And because I've been getting lots of questions in email, and this is the form I'd love to answer those. So email's cool, but this is cooler. And so Steve wants to know, home base is in Des Moines, Iowa. Wondering if you or any of your disciples, that's funny, have experiences with a product called Icy Breeze. It's a portable AC that blows cool, dry air. Never heard of it. Icy Breeze with cool, dry air. Sounds kind of interesting. Anybody familiar with this product? Chime in, chat in. And I am not familiar with it. Is it an RV product? Does it plug in? I'd be kind of curious to know. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to help you there. What I'll do is I'll write it down. I actually have my pencil with me, Icy Breeze, and see if we can find that afterwards. We've got so many products. I've got so much going on. It's just insane. Great question. Let's keep rolling here. And Deborah from Philly. Oh my God, I can't wait to get to Center City in my van. I love Philadelphia. It's just one of my favorite towns. And I've not been in the Northeast in my van yet. I'm just so excited. So Beyond Attention in the house tonight saying, can't wait to chat with y'all. 7 months of full time. How has that flown by so fast? Holy tamale. And they're just the coolest couple. And they text me a picture with their cat Benny kind of over his shoulder. Maybe we'll have 4 announcements tonight. We're getting another cat. It's either going to be in September timeframe or December when we get back to home base, but we are definitely getting another cat. We thought about the dog thing. I just don't have time for a dog. I think a kitten would be great. Wouldn't it be cool if we do like a YouTube live, go to the Humane Society or a shelter and pick a cat out together? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, that would be something, right? So Sherry's got a good question here. Oh, this is a great question. What is the one must see in Shipshewana, Indiana from your current visit? That's a great question. And here's my hot tip. Don't go on a Saturday afternoon expecting to do a bunch of stuff on Sunday, because it's all largely closed on Sunday because they're in church or whatever. So that would be tip number 1. I got caught in that trap. I'd say the flea market was big and interesting and disappointing. I was thinking, Amish and handicraft, and been to some amazing flea markets. There's a huge one outside of Fort Lauderdale in Florida that's just amazing. Unfortunately, this one was kind of full of made in China stuff. I was really kind of like, what? And a lot of sameness. So that's, you could go see it, but it's not a draw that everybody's in the campground that I was in was going to see. And it happens like 2 or 3 times a week. I think the big thing was for me was just seeing the horses and the carriages and that mode of transportation that those folks, the Amish, use. I did go to Rise and Roll Bakery. That was an experience. That should be on everybody's list. Oh my God, I'm telling you, the pickles and the jam and the donuts and the bread. What else did I get? Um, it was not a cheap stop. Let me tell you, oh crap, I spent about $50, and it was so good. So I would put that on your list. So Rise and Shine Bakery, and my thing is falling. Sorry, folks. There we go. Don't go on a Saturday night or weekend. The other thing is at the Shipshewana North RV Park is where I stayed. There's an ice cream stand. I frequented that a few times. That's where I actually slept in on a Saturday, and they had a killer banana split. OMG, I'm telling you. And there's an ice cream stand nearby called Yups, Yups, or Yips. It's around the corner. It's near Coachman headquarters. I would put that on your list too. Thanks for asking. I was a little disappointed. I got to be honest. I was kind of expecting this big stuff, and a lot of the stores were, home crafty things. And I stopped in the visitors bureau, and I can't do any of that in the van, right? So, if you're going furniture shopping, if you're going bargain hunting, you'll probably have a great time. I was a little disappointed. I just took the weekend off. So great question. Thank you. But the people in the carriages and it's an amazing sight to see. Literally traffic jams of buggies and horses, and the pavement worn with their hoof prints. It's just the craziest thing. I'd go just to see that. And they're the nicest people. I talked to a few of them, and they're just so humble is the word I'll use. Polite. Everybody waves. It was so cool. And by the way, if you get there, give them a break, give them some room. The locals in cars and stuff, I guess they see it all the time, so they don't really pay that much attention. I slowed way down. I moved over, and when they walk on the side of the road a lot, so just be aware of them. They're choosing to do that kind of mode of transportation, and I think we just have to respect it a little bit. And they love the van, by the way. They're like, holy cow. Yeah, thanks, Mary Jean. Everyone deserves a time off. It's true. Minneapolis. Oh my gosh, I love Minneapolis. It's just a great town. Oh, Toledo has a great art museum. Are you serious? That is amazing. We have lots of folks in here. Here's Steve. Sherry saying, good to see you. So it says, Living Right says, Icy Breeze does work around 300 on Amazon. We'll have to explore that a little bit. So here's Nicole. She got a question here. I've only had my van 2 weeks. What's the best app to use in order to plan a trip from Florida to Niagara Falls? That is a beautiful question. I would say there's a few resources like that you will want to investigate and probably get. Let me take a drink of water. Excuse me. I'm still doing my allergy medicine. It very dries me out. So a couple things. I would say best app. I use several. Your navigation app, of course. Google searches for interesting things would be another one. But if you're part of the Harvest Host program or Boondockers Welcome, but Harvest Host in particular, you can put in a start and stop, and it will navigate you to your destination via Harvest Host sites, which is really cool. I use that a lot. Road Trippers is another app that I am using more. We're going to be using it as part of Route 66. I'm actually meeting with them, have a meeting with that company, Road Trippers, tomorrow, so I'll understand it better. But that seems to be a really interesting way to learn about things as you go along. There is Allstays is a good one if you're looking for tank duty, dumping stations, campgrounds, places to stay. I think that's one that you should probably add to your list. I would kind of let's see, what else would I use? There is, look at my phone quick. They all kind of blend together. Those are the big ones. You can get kind of overwhelmed. So I just kind of stick at Boondockers Welcome. If you're part of that program, you should be. You're an RVer, in my opinion. They're becoming one company. But Boondocker's Welcome is like $40 a year, and Harvest Host is like $140 a year now. I mean, get them from my site, you save 15%, and I make a few bucks, so thank you for that. But it's really a great way to plan. There's another app that I use that doesn't really have navigation, but when I go to let's see if this will pull up real quick. Nope, didn't pull it fast enough. It's called Culture Trip. And what it does is you type in a city and it shows you kind of like crowdsourcing articles and cool things to do. 10 best restaurants, 10 biggest dive bars, 10 quirkiest neighborhoods, things like that. Culture Trip I use a lot to find, again, like I'm going to Toledo, I'm going to be there for 2 days. So what are the 2 or 3 things I need to see in Toledo? They're kind of mainstream stuff, right? Or off the beaten path. I really like those. I'm doing the same thing with Detroit right now. And if you want to find places to, things to see, again, not a navigation app, but it's why would you want to go there type of an app. So hopefully that helps. Harvest Host, Boondoggers Welcome, Road Trippers, All Stays, and Culture Trip, and do some Google searches. It's a great question. Hopefully that helps. Nebraska, that is amazing. I have never been, I drove through Nebraska, never been to Omaha. Would like to do that. Well, we got a lot of questions coming in tonight. Hello, everybody. Here's merry-go-round. And there's Joe from Doe Cutter. Thanks for tuning in. It's a 2:15, 2:20 in the morning there for him. That's so great. Let's see, scanning here. Get those questions coming. I know you've got a few. Nashville's in the house. So we'll kind of pre-announce it here. We've been talking about a Nashville campout the second weekend in November in conjunction with Embassy RV. That is not going to happen in November. We're looking at the first weekend in December. And it'll be chilly for sure, but it won't be season, snow probably. Terry builds a 4-season rig. I'll be the one with my frostbite coat inside my van. Just kidding. My van stays pretty warm. So Nashville in the house, and we are making those plans right now. So the first weekend in December, we'll have more plans announced about that very, very soon. Spokane, Washington, going to be there in just a few months. Yeah, hot. The 110s. I think I just spoke to my mom last night. Karen, thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate that. And let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good question. So MP wants to know, how are the Vansters surviving the heat wave? Seems unsurvivable even with AC. Yeah, if I was in one of those hot zones, I would be hightailing it to the mountains where it's even hot. I'd be leaving because it's kind of relentless, right? It's been like in the 80s, 90s, and the hundreds, and back in the 90s. So that's kind of one of our topics tonight. Really, is if you can work from the road, you don't have to sit and be miserable through it. So it's a good question. Rockwell, Texas, in the house. Yeah. So Kathmandu, Doe. So how does a newbie go about making a business around travel blogging? Is it possible to write off an RV that is used in support of the channel? Which comes first, starting the business or get an RV? It's an awesome question. I'm going to answer it as part of the question of the week from a viewer that asks me a very similar question. So hang tight. We'll get there in just a few minutes because it's a big topic tonight. And it was a means to an end to me, and means to an end, and I want to cover that with folks because it's a great question, and we need more van life YouTubers out here, in my opinion. So here's Spokane Steve saying the heat wave, record breaking. He's still waiting on the delivery of his travato, so he can't give us a real how's it working from his travato at 109-degree heat. I get asked a lot, how's your rig in 15-degree weather? How's your rig in 115-degree weather? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm avoiding those kind of extremes. So your wait is almost over, Steve. Hang in there, man. Yes, Sherry, I think you're the one that recommended Rise and Roll Bakery in Elkhart. And it's kind of just outside, unless you have 2 of them, but Rise and Roll is really fantastic. Amish, there was a line. I had to wait. I don't wait in lines very often, ladies and gentlemen, but I actually waited in line about 15 minutes to buy all this stuff. I should hold the jar of the apricot. Oh my, I love apricot, and the pickles were amazing. I should hold them up and just make it tease you a little bit, tease your taste buds. It's so delicious. It's like a $15 jar of pickles, so oh my God, but so great. So Tim is saying, here's some Detroit news here. Cool neighborhood north of Dallas, Detroit. Lots of breweries, restaurants. Man, let me see if I can bring this up. You know what Detroit doesn't have? This whole area. So he's talking about check out Corktown, Greektown, Inner City, Old Train. Yeah, I've never been to Detroit ever, even by plane or car. So I'm just super curious to get a lay of the land. You know, isn't around the Detroit area at all, and that's Harvest Hosts and Boondockers Welcome. There's literally 3 Harvest Hosts in the entire greater metropolitan area, like within an hour of downtown Detroit. I can't believe it. I'm staying at the golf course tomorrow night, and a viewer's driveway the following night, and a friend's the Saturday night, because there is no resources in Detroit area for Boondockers Welcome and Harvest Host. It's just a desert out here. I can't believe it. This is a great question. We just haven't had this lately. Speaking of weather, right? So Christopher Dill wants to know, what do you do on a bad weather van day when it's like pouring rain? Just curious, not all that important. You know, it's actually kind of a good question. I can't look forward to those days, to be honest, because I really enjoy being in my van, and it just gives me an opportunity just to chill. I take a few more naps probably, and I organize. I come up with new ways to keep reducing stuff in here. We got a huge video coming up on that, and when there's weather going around the van, I really like being in the van. We had a huge storm cell come through early morning, like 2, 3, 4 in the morning a couple of days ago in the state park. And there's just something surreal about feeling the van shake from the wind, hearing and feeling the thunder. And the thunder in a van is very different than in a house. Let me tell you, and the lightning, just everything's illuminated in just that flash, and it's just the most surreal thing. And if it's just a gentle rain and it's not overly hot and the bugs aren't bad, to open up the awning style windows, kind of they tip out a little bit, and just to smell the rain, smell nature, hear how things are reacting, nature's reacting to the rain. It's just one of my most fun things. So I love weather in the van. Don't want to be in the sunshine. That's a huge no-no. Do not want to be in the sunshine. But yeah, bad weather days, I take snoozes. I try and do more work. Did I mention snoozes? That's usually what happens. Or I do some organization, maybe some cleaning. Good question. All right. Speaking of questions, let's do question of the week. So this is Paul, and let me zoom in so you can see this. So his question literally was, just curious, what kind of work do you do? I think the underlying question is, how do I make money from my RV doing van life? And I think the implied question is that something that I can do, take my job and turn it into a travel experience? And that's kind of what the gal up here was talking about, Kathmandu, or is that a guy? Was talking about. So let's talk about this question, because I think it's a good one. And I have just one slide, I think. And let me kind of zoom in so you guys can see this, and gals. So I see it as 4 jobs. My primary job is a corporate job. I work for a company called LexTech. It's a mobile app and process improvement company in the Chicagoland area. I am part-time. Very happy about that. They're allowing me to do that, which is pretty amazing. I'm the Partner Alliance Manager. I also have a YouTube channel called Go Small, Live Large, and considered an influencer by many. And that's another job. I have my Embassy RV duties as my paid partner. The Embassy RV Owners and Wannabes group gave me a sticker, and it had the word Envoy on it. So I'm anointing myself an Embassy RV Envoy. I loved that. So Sherry and Rob get credit for that. And then I am the Volta Brand Ambassador. And what I want to just kind of point out here is what I do in each of those, because they're all kind of similar but different. So let me zoom back in. So for my corporate job, I'm a Partner Alliances Manager. What in the heck is that? So I work with our partners that are associated with Lextech. Apple would be one, Stratix would be another, Scandit, largely Apple. And we work to help companies deliver a better digital experience to their employees. That's what we do. And I do event planning, some business development, just kind of keeping ourselves in front of these folks. It's a knowledge worker job, one that can be easily done from anywhere on earth is kind of the point here. And what I did is when I went part-time first in the van and then full-time, I reinvented what my job duties were, what my obligations and metrics were going to be from the company's perspective, and then delivered on that, and have always keep really in front of them what I'm doing. I say I have a full contribution on a part-time basis. So my question for you is, if you want to take your job on the road, even on a part-time basis, working from your RV for a week, it's not a time thing. It's not checking in at 8 o'clock on Monday and checking out at 5 p.m. on Monday all the way through Friday. Instead, it's what are the obligations, the tasks, the duties, the metrics that need to get done, and can they be done kind of any time during the week? Are there specific meetings you need to attend? Can you do job functions around those meetings? And that's what I've been able to do, is just kind of reinvent my job and manage to go part-time from full-time to these other endeavors. And that has been a really big thing. Now, you do need internet on that. But I went part-time pay, or from full-time pay to part-time pay. So by my other 3 jobs there, I've been able to counterbalance that a little bit. But I think it's if you have a knowledge worker job and you can take that on the road, try it part-time first. Make sure you have your internet thing nailed. That's a toughie. And then work with your management to not punch the clock at 8, punch it out at 5, but what are the things I need to accomplish this week to make the company's goals realized? That's the way to look at it, not spending time in a clock. And I think that's what people have realized, thank you COVID, is I was showing up at work and I was just warming a seat, actually doing maybe a couple, 3 hours worth of work, maybe 4 or 5, but largely it was just kind of occupying space. And that space can be occupied in your RV. And if you clearly lay out what you're going to do, then you can probably reinvent your job and take it on the road, whether it's part-time or full-time. The other thing here I want to point out is on the YouTube channel, which is to leverage existing skills. Now, I was not a film guy. I didn't make any movies, didn't make any videos. But what I was able to do is take my curiosity of the van and my desire to learn about the van and spin it around to share that back out with the audience, what I was learning. And I think Catman do want to know what comes first, starting the business or getting an RV. And I had started the YouTube channel for 6 months prior to getting the RV. So I was blogging, if you will, every week about vans, but I didn't have a van yet. So I created stuff that, again, interested me, that probably somebody in a van would be of interest in or was shopping for a van. So I think you need to kind of get the business rolling, figure out what you want to do, and really go down that path. A little bit of the why, the how, and that kind of drives the what again. But leverage your existing skills. Now, I've done presentations on my corporate job all the time, which allowed me to parlay some of that into a video thing by thinking through what we're trying to deliver, what's our message, got to be organized, what's the visual aids, all that kind of stuff. So I think, what's your skill set? Make a list of your skill set. And that kind of brings us to Embassy RV, which is, I did not race into Terry's office and give him his big pitch. I very intentionally did not do that. We warmed each other up over a period of really about 6 or 8 months. He was kind of never knew him before, Terry Minix, the VP there. And my whole mission is like it is at Lextech. We're not racing in doing pitches and proposals. We're building relationships. We actually may not get anything going monetarily for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. And just like Embassy, we romanced and danced for close to a year before we really got anything going of consequence. And we're still feeling each other out at that point, and still kind of are. I met with them, spent a whole day with them just recently, and they just love what this is doing. And by our approach of building relationships, and now they're building relationships with their customers and their wannabe customers through our campouts, it's really having that foresight of, this is a customer, yes, but it's not like you're making a sale. You're building relationships. Relationships matter big time, and it's a slow, meaningful go. So if you are kind of looking for brands, which kind of leads to Volta, it was the same thing. We talked, and they, as a brand, they're kind of hanging their credibility on me, on somebody talking about their stuff. So they want to make sure you're not a flash in the pan, right? Make sure you're honest. Make sure that you're trustworthy. Make sure that you're, you know, teaching. That was really what Embassy wanted to do. What Volta wanted to do is they wanted to educate. Um, and that's really what is kind of the tagline here: teach everything you know, which is one of my favorite stickers in my van right here from the RV Entrepreneur Summit. Teach everything you know. What if we just actually had that as a mantra, as a nation? Teach everything you want to know, instead of kind of holding the cards and then you got to send me money to get what's on my card. What if we just, it's just kind of the Gary Vaynerchuk um, method, which is he puts all his stuff out there for free, and when somebody actually wants his stuff, then they come knock on his door and he charges them money. And that's kind of my thing too. I think it's a great way to roll. So how do I make money? My corporate job part-time, make a little bit of money on YouTube, and that's still about $500 a month, so it's kind of covering the gas bill, kind of covering the van bill. That's nice. It kind of goes up and down. Embassy, I produce content for them, and they pay me to do that, and put his amazing brand in front of this amazing audience, and then let them decide. We have a number of their customers in the audience tonight, Sherry being one of them. And Volta pays me to go train the Winnebago dealers, the sales, and the service teams. So, excuse me, again, what we're trying to do is just teach, build relationships, help people have better RVing experience. That's really the bottom line here. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Kathmandu. I would think long and hard about doing a YouTube channel. If that's the way you want to roll, it's a long game. It's a lot of work. You heard about, I was just totally burned out, close to 300 videos now, and I just need a break. Took the month of June off on edit videos. For every 10 minutes you see on YouTube, it's about 5 hours of editing time. It's crazy, insane, a lot of work, plus recording. So if that's the way you want to go, I think you need to make a real serious commitment to it, at least 12 months, at least, and 1 to 2 videos a week for that kind of a cadence. So again, viewer question of the week. I love this question because what I wanted to do when I got going was I saw the Russos in their van, and I'm like, how can I create a channel that creates some income? And my thing at that time was just be fully self-employed and do what they did, just roam around filming locations. I'm like, that sounds really cool. And so I've kind of set this up, and it's going a really nice direction that it's very, what's the right word? Right cadence. Do get burned out a little bit because I got a lot going, but I just want to deliver as much as I can, teach everybody everything I know for you folks. So, Paul, I hope that answers your question. I've got 5 jobs, a lot going on, and I love every minute of it. And Kathmandu, hopefully that answers your question as well. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's see, a few more questions I saw roll in. And then we're going to talk about the RV news headlines. This is an interesting thing you're going to see here in just a minute. Virginia in the house tonight. Was that helpful at all? If you can just chime in, let me know. What do I do? How do I make money? Hopefully that was helpful. Some of you are lucky and are retired and have, that retirement income. That's awesome. You put in a lot of years to make that happen. So I'm super, super excited for you. I don't have that luxury. So I need to keep it working. Miami. Yeah, was that crazy what happened to that building in Miami? Oh my gosh. Oklahoma. We're going to be rolling through there. Virginia. Yeah, Steve's like, Spokane Steve saying another heat record, 7 days over 100 degrees. Yeah, I'd be going north to Canada, except we can't get into Canada probably. And they're having crazy heat up there too. So, oof. So Donna has, is it safe to be in the van during a thunderstorm thinking of lightning strikes? I think you're fine. I'm more worried about a big tree limb breaking off and hitting the van. That's what I'm actually worried about. And are you ready for this? Real time. This happened in a Walmart parking lot in, oh Lord, have mercy. I want to say Alabama, Arkansas, someplace like that, Montgomery. a huge storm cell. I was trying to outrun it, and it overran me. So I was going to overrun me. So I pulled into a Walmart parking lot, and I was away from trees. I was worried about trees, limbs breaking and hitting my van. That was my big concern. Unless it's a tornado, the van's not going to move. It's going to stay right there. Thunder, it's got tires, so I don't. There's other things that are more interesting to a lightning bolt than my Van Lily, I'm pretty sure. But the thing I learned is shopping carts. When you have a 60-mile-an-hour windstorm at the front of that storm cell, blowing shopping carts around, those things are like bullets coming at your van, and they will dent anything it hits. And I experienced that in real time. And the shopping cart, I'm not kidding, it was coming 10 or 15 miles an hour right at the van, and last minute it turned and hit the car that was kind of parked a few spaces away from me, left a huge dent. So now what I do, if I see a storm cell that I'm driving and I'm in a parking lot area, and that's kind of my refuge, again, for trees, is I go and I put all the carts in the corrals to save not only my van, but everybody else's, because I saw that real time. And that was not cool. That was something I'd never thought about before. So, good question. So Sherry's got a question kind of along our topic tonight, which is, how do I make money from the van? What kind of a job do I do? What percentage of your job needs Wi-Fi, or percentage hours a day do you need Wi-Fi on average? Awesome job. I live off Wi-Fi, cellular connectivity. So I have an iPad that is cellular enabled, and it's on all the time, running off AT&T. I have an unlimited plan that I've now transferred for the 5th time, which is an amazing deal, because I'm using, I'm not kidding, probably close to 100 gigabytes off that plan. That's 35 megabytes unlimited. The speeds are really very good. What percentage of hours? Every waking hour. And for a job, it's during conference calls, or I'm doing something associated with the job. Then I'm doing internet research, I'm emailing. So sometimes the bandwidth is very small. Sometimes it's very big. But if I'm not doing my Lex Tech corporate job, I'm doing something for the channel. I'm editing, so I have to do internet. I upload. So there's probably not much of the day that I'm not needing connectivity. It really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm editing, I can do that in the van, and then I do the uploads at like a library or a coffee shop or a Planet Fitness, so I can have that big upload file go on a high speed, because that can take a long time. But if you want connectivity for any reason, this is pretty good for in a pinch. But if you're doing serious work on your laptop or your tablet, I think you need to plan to be on Wi-Fi as long as you're awake doing something, right? And download movies when you're in a Wi-Fi situation, so you're not streaming them, would be a tip there. Anything you can save to a hard drive or solid state drive to consume later, that would be kind of interesting. But what percentage of your job needs Wi-Fi? 100%. Whenever I'm working, it's 100%. So good question. All right, let's take a look at RV news. We've got some other good questions coming here tonight. Get a thumb up if you learned anything. Sure appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. Gosh, if you're into vans, into travel, into content like this, that would be awesome. Oh, Kevin, I do so was helpful. Good. Appreciate that. Thanks, RC. Excellent video tonight. I try, man. It takes as much time to put this together as it does to make a video. A lot of folks do YouTube Live. They just turn around and start going, and that's cool. We might do a Bloody Mary Sunday here coming up. I don't know. Just do that. Just have a little bit of fun. But these, with all the content stuff, it's a fair lift. So let's share RV news. I thought this was kind of interesting. And this link will be on my site tonight. I didn't quite get to it before the show started. So the CEO of Winnebago was on Fox Business Channel. And look at these statistics. What he was talking about in particular that caught my ear and eye was the demographic of the RVs. 10% of their customers are under the age of 30. 10% under the age of 30. Wow. The Winnebago's building products that they can get off the grid, which is what they want. They want the adventure of the open road, but they want the luxury of technology. And that's kind of the big thing there, is the technology. which we were just talking about Wi-Fi, right? And I think some of that technology he's talking about is lithium ion systems. By having a lithium ion equipped coach, you can go anywhere, certainly for a few days, and live as if you're plugged into shore power, even in pretty hot heat. Although I wouldn't really recommend it. He says that they want to experience the outdoors but stay connected, and that is so true. Right? We're just talking about that too. If you have a job on the road, if you have a business from the road, if you're doing social work or charity work from the road, connectivity is so key. I wish the carriers would kick it into gear and get on the ball with us here. And then they talked about having quarterly sales of nearly $1 billion, which is pretty amazing. Record quarterly. And the backlog, look at this, 252% year over year backlog, 46,000 units on backlog. It's so crazy. I go into a dealer to do some Volta training, and there's 30 rigs in the lot, and there should be 300. And I don't think this is going to go away anytime soon. The big thing here for me is 10% of their customers are under 30 years of age. You think they're either going to love it or hate it? I think they're going to love it. I'm connected. I'm doing nature stuff. I'm traveling. I'm learning. I mean, teaching your kids Civil War stuff or civil rights stuff from a book or from a YouTube, watching it at home versus taking them there. Or Rosa Parks sat on the bus. In fact, that bus is at the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit. I can't wait to see that bus. That's what it's about. And anyway, really cool. RV News headlines. Just love sharing this stuff with you because you may not be aware of it. The link to this clip, it's about 4 or 5 minutes, will be on my website after the show tonight. All right, let's see what else we got going. Any other questions in here? The questions always come at the end of the show. So let's see. Questions on vans, questions on van tours. What kind of van tours do you guys want to see? Because I'm trying to get a catalog built out. I've got like 5 or 6 van tours, excuse me, coming your way. And the first one's going to be, Sherry will know about this a little bit, Bob and Susan. We're going to tour an Embassy RV Duo Traveler. That's going to be the first van tour coming up. And we've got some really interesting stuff coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. So questions, please. Mary Dean wants to know, great question. Do you think there will be a glut of used vans in the fall? I'm hoping the prices will drop a little. I get asked this a lot. And as I talk to the dealers, as I talk to the manufacturers like Coachman, like Embassy, I don't think this is going away. I really don't. Maybe the towables, Class A's, that's kind of a different market altogether. I don't think the vans are. A few reasons. Number one, if you buy it strictly for pleasure trips and going places, that's probably a primary driver. I'd say that would be 50 to 60% of why people buy an RV. But they probably quickly figure out that I can work from the road, and I've just extended my life experience. Maybe I'm a business person. Maybe I'm in real estate. It becomes my mobile office. I don't have to go to the real estate office anymore. Maybe I'm in the construction business. This can be my on-site construction office. Drive away at night, drive back in the morning, or stay the night in a few nights. Maybe you're tailgating. Maybe you're teaching about specific things. I think the use case for a Class B completely self-contained motorhome is so much bigger than just going RVing. I don't think that is going to change at all. And with lithium ion systems in there and with decent internet, it still to this day flabbergasts me that I can, like tomorrow's Monday, for example, and I'm like, the Monday stress just goes away because everything I have is with me. It doesn't matter where I am. I can do my job. It's pretty cool. So I don't think the vans are going to be there. I think there's going to be a little bit of a glut of sameness. We're seeing that. I don't think prices are going to go down a whole lot either. Might be having a little spike now. Curious what you think about that. The spike is real for a lot of reasons. Demand, yeah, for sure. But materials have gone up. And what a lot of people miss, unlike the towables and the chassis, it's kind of funny when I was out with Nick at Coachman, we actually, and this will be in some of the videos, there's just acres of chassis and there's acres of vans. And I'm like, so how much is a chassis? A chassis is literally a steering wheel over an engine with a transmission and back wheels in the back and these 2 huge I-beams. And that's a chassis, naked chassis, as he called them. And he's like, depending on a number of factors, it's like $15,000 to maybe $20,000 for that. That's all that thing is. It's an engine with a transmission and 4 wheels or 6. A van is a fully functioning van, and they are $50,000 to $60,000 out of the gate, rolling into the into the manufacturer's lot. And that's the big difference why vans are expensive. I think people just miss it. It's a $50,000 van with $50,000 worth of R&D and plumbing and work and time and blah, blah, blah. So I don't think the vans are going to go down in price a whole lot. You might find some used ones. We've talked to people, including Kevin Martin on this show, said he actually only lost $5,000 on his sale of his van. I've talked to others. They actually made money on theirs. I could probably make money in my van, even with 73,000 miles on it. Some dude living in it for 28 months. I'm like, this thing is bulletproof. It's just so incredible. I paid 108,000 for this thing back in 2018. I could probably get 100 grand out of it. Maybe with the mods and stuff I've done to this, maybe $110,000, $15,000, right? Been cared for super well. So yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a glut of vans to answer your question directly. I'm curious what you think. I do think there's going to be a shift from Mercedes to Transit. I see that as a trend. So that will be good. And maybe we'll give Dodge a run for their money. We'll see what happens there. So kind of cool. Great question. How are we doing on time? We've got about 10 minutes. If we got good questions coming in, I'll be happy to go over a few minutes. And Sherry says, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of my big worry here. Jeffrey's talking about story about a guy camping in Florida. A tree limb came down and he didn't make it past this week. Hopefully not him personally, but maybe his rig. But I'm super conscious of trees. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I'm going to go give advice to this state campground I'm in. The trees hanging over the roads here are seriously dangerous. It's like going like obstacle course. Even getting into my site, backing into this, the limbs are way too low for a van, let alone a towable or a Class A. Trees are they're your super friend with shade, but man, you got to be careful of the tree limbs. And if there's a storm coming, I would get away from limbs for that reason. Yeah, Heidi's got has a good point. Maybe many public libraries have Wi-Fi that extends in their parking lot, and option you could use. I've actually done that before. He's right. Libraries sometimes they usually are password protected, so you don't need to know the password. Run in and get it, I guess, and just sit and just park right in front. So to get that has been my experience. If the internet is better inside my van, jumping on their network versus being inside, or it's the same, I'm picking inside my van. So good advice there. Libraries were my number one hit before COVID. I should go try them again, but they made me, during COVID, they weren't open hardly at all. And when they started opening up a little bit, you had to have a mask on, which I guess everybody did. And you go stay for 30 minutes, and it was all these rules, and it was just like, not worth it. So I'd love to. I could roll in, get focused, air conditioned, heated, good Wi-Fi, have a water there, plug all my devices in, let all the iCloud syncing happen. Everybody's happy. The devices are all happy, and so I should test a library. It's a good point. Let's see what else we got tonight. Oh, hey, we got the viewer recommendation of the week, and folks, we need some recommendations. My recommendation box is getting low. Look at this. This is a cool one, and I couldn't find where I pulled the recommendation from. It was a viewer, of course, whether it was a YouTube comment or an email. So I apologize. I can't give credit because I can't remember who this was, but I was not aware of this. There's a website. It's free. They ask for a donation. And I kind of believe in these kind of things. It's called sannydumps.com. What a great name for a website. Ad revenue driven, but apparently these folks use this and are pretty successful with it. All Stays is a good one, even just Google searching. But if there's a dedicated site, Crowdsource, which is apparently what this is, I would add this to your list. The person that's traveling up north. Just all these resources. I just bookmark these things in your browsers, put them on your devices, and I think I've showed this at one of our events. I have a whole page here. I'm kind of got them spread out a little bit. Go this way. That's just that's not helpful. of apps are just dedicated to RVing, right? And on my front page, the ones that I use. This is my example on my phone because I use my iPad for everything. I am an iPad workflow guy. You can take my Macintosh. You can actually take my phone, but my Mac, you'll have to pry my cold, dead fingers off my iPad. But this is viewer recommendation of the week. sannydumps.com. Check it out. Let me know what your experience is. I'll let you know what mine is. And I really appreciate these kind of recommendations. Please send them in. It's gslviewerrecommendation@gmail.com. Flood that email box. If you want to be a guest on the show as an RVer, whether you've been doing it a while, maybe just a few weeks, maybe a few months, let's get your experience and get the questions rolling in for those folks. And get viewer recommendations, because I clearly don't know everything, and you folks know a lot more in some of these areas than I do. And let's look at viewer song of the week. This one was delivered up, and I had not heard this song in eons, so this comes from me this week. And this is a toe tapper. This is back from the 80s, right? Foreigner, Juke Box Hero. I love this song, and what caught my attention about this song, God, probably 2 years ago, when I was really building out the channel and really thinking about this. If you listen and read the words of the song, the Jukebox Hero, he wants to become a musician, and he goes through the whole story of how he wants to become a rock star and what would it take. And it became a metaphor for me becoming having a YouTube channel that was successful and got the attention of audience members, got the attention of brands, and almost became kind of a quasi theme song for me. So spin up your favorite music source tonight and check out Jukebox Hero. When's the last time you heard that song? Such a great song. I just love that song. I might play it after this when we're done. And here's the pet pick of the week, and we'll scan for last questions. Just a great group tonight. So amazing. So here's the backstory on this. So this is clearly not a pet. This is my van. So this is Lily. Lily is a Travato GL. The funny story here is that Bob and Judy were talking to Coachman. I think they said they bought it from Nick at Sunshine State RVs, and it spawned a thought of when they were visiting Cedar Key in a different kind of rig. Now they have a Pleasureway. They had a road truck product then, and it made them think. And somehow I got come into the conversation thought wise, and they scanned through hundreds of pictures they took that weekend when they were Cedar Key. I'll zoom in for you again. And the top photo is my van right at the tip of that arrow. I parked on this bridge for the day, and then they zoomed in on that photo, and there I am when the van was silver. And I'll never forget that day, because that was the day that I created a video that went into the RV Entrepreneur Summit to be part of their video showcase thing. And so a very strong memory for me, and apparently a strong memory for them. So I just thought it was fascinating. And they said a whole story of this stuff. And again, they're in a Pleasureway on tour right now, and they're from Virginia. And I hope to meet them sometime in person. But I'm telling you, folks, these are the kind of relationships, and that's what this whole thing's about. This is just a crazy, awesome community of folks. And Sherry and some of the folks in here tonight just know that how you build these friendships, these relationships. And if you come to these events, we exchange our personal information, and we keep texting, and we just become friends. And I love that. It's just so great. So Bob and Judy, thank you for sending in pet pick of the week. That would be my van. I just love that. And I look forward to meeting you soon in your on tour. I have to look up what that is. Let's see, a couple more questions here. And let's see. RC's got a good question here. What do you think of an all-electric RV? All electric. I would say excluding the chassis. I don't think you'll ever see, well, never. Excluding the chassis, which has to have a gasoline or diesel engine. But I think an all-electric RV on the backside makes a lot of sense. I'm really warming up to the idea of no propane and just using the chassis fuel as source for heat and hot water. I am warming up to that. As I look at van builders and I look at what Embassy's doing, that's making a lot more sense to me these days. I fill my propane tank from half to full about 5, maybe 6 times a year. But it's just another thing to deal with. I like cooking on gas, so it's not that big a deal. Induction cooktop, sure. As long as you have means to run a high quality lithium-ion system, I think it's not a bad idea. Certainly a trend in that direction. But I think from a fossil fuel from a chassis, I don't think that's going away anytime soon. I mean, this is like 9,000 pounds. And I don't know what a Tesla weighs, but it ain't 9,000 pounds, I'm pretty sure. And there's a whole generation of stuff. So I think it'd be cool. Everything in here is electric. except my propane, right? So looking around for clues. So yeah, I'm most of the way there. I think it's a cool idea, to be honest. Well, I need my propane grill though. I'm not cooking on an electric grill. Um, let's see, other questions. So Vandemic, hey, what's going on, Gene? It says, don't miss out on the possible Henry Ford Museum. Yeah, it's on my list for sure. In Dearborn, excellent museum history. Yeah, doesn't it contain not only the bus that Rosa Parks sat in the wrong spot, but doesn't it have the chair that Abraham Lincoln was shot in? I'm kind of a huge quirky history buff, and that's got to be on the list. So yeah, it's on the list. I'm really excited. Um, Last week we had she wasn't my fan was not the pet peak of the week, but she is this week. So Lily's famous. The Amish love Lily. It was so funny watching them. They were just they were so funny. Let's see. So Kathmandu says, need to reduce the need for flammables in the RV. Yeah, I mean open flames. I don't have any open flame candles. And there's a lot of things that burn in here. So yeah, but electrical batteries can create some fires too. So good point. So Michael, I'm going to send a note to you, sir, about one of our things tonight. Got to the Pontiac Lake question. Where do you store your barbecue and fancy chair when you drive? I have both now. So let me see if I can spin this around or not. So the short answer is it's in the hallway. So at the back of the van by the cargo doors in what's called garage storage. I've got about 8 cubic feet maybe. It's like 20 by 30 by 26 tall, where I keep my guitar, my grill, my extra water bottle. My chair folds up to about this big. It's the best chair. I'm so glad I bought it. I use it all the time, which is just amazing. The fold-up chairs that were inside it initially and then up on the roof, gave those away, never used them. This chair is great. So that's where I store it, inside the van and in the garage space. It's really, really awesome. I've shown that a number of times in videos. And it's one reason why I love the 59G floor plan, because if you had a K floor plan, I guess you'd start in your bathroom and then you'd have to, kind of sit on the toilet with your knees on top of your grill, or you probably wouldn't have a grill. I just don't know. So I was showing Nick this at Coachman. I said, this is something you guys are missing, because this garage storage space is so critical, if you want those things. And he's like, he thought about it, but he hadn't really seen it, felt it. So good question. That's where I put it, under the bed. And with the bed down, it all stays right there. It's great. Good question. Let's see. We're at top of the hour. Let me see if we've got some other good questions in here. Otherwise, we'll call it a wrap. Make sure we got everything there. Yes. Okay. And yeah, so let's see. Kathmandu saying Ford announced an EV Transit. That's interesting. Range is limited. Yeah. I mean, they got the truck, right? The truck is super cool. The Lightning, something like that, right? The F-150. But range is pretty big, and it's probably not hauling 9,000 pounds of truck to go 300 miles. And then you have to stop and charge. So I think electric vehicles for in-town stuff, definitely electrical, everything's the future. Fossil fuels, it's just not the future, right? It was 100 years ago, still using it. I can't remember what Volta says specifically, but the energy density on the lithium battery versus gasoline, it's like 30 times as much energy coming out of gasoline versus a battery pack at this point. So there's just a trade-off there until that somewhat gets in balance, with economics and everything else. It's just the best thing right now. Which, by the way, a big thumbs up to Elon Musk and SpaceX. They launched another spaceship today. I posted on Instagram. And those people are just knocking it out of the park, by just doing the future today. I think it's so great. Oh, really? This is interesting. So J.K. House says the limousine that President Kennedy was shot in. That's cool. I did not know that. So we got Lincoln's death chair, we got Kennedy's death car, and then we got Rose's bus. Oh, I can't wait to get there. I'm so glad you guys brought this up. Maybe I'll roll in there. maybe even earlier. I don't know. I just love that kind of stuff. And if you haven't been to Dallas, I think every American needs to be a few places just to cement our history. There's some civil rights stuff, and but where Kennedy was shot on that street, to stand in those two spots, I think every American should do that just to understand what happened there. RVing allows you to do that, by the way, and still be at work after a conference call after lunch. Okay, we'll make this, I think, the last thing tonight. We'll sign off. So Simply Sonora here. Will you be interviewing independent van builders in the future? Thanks. Enjoy Detroit. Yes, yes, yes. Simply Sonora. We've already interviewed a couple. So Mango Vans is coming up. Chad and Paul did them a few months ago. I did them a few months ago. Haven't posted a video yet. Rover Vans out of Chicago. We're actively contacting them. Some want the exposure, some don't. They have more business than they know what to do with. So, like, yeah, I'm okay. And I love the independent van builders because they are a little bit like Embassy in that they're slower than the big guys. They're doing way more innovative things. Wait till you see this Rover van. It's in a medium tall roof Transit, and it's got a bed like the Revel. And he is just the coolest cat. Peter. And so, yes, to answer your question, in fact, big ask of the audience, if you know people that are building vans for commercial purposes or even a DIY, I think that'd be fascinating too. Please hit me up. And again, it's gslviewerrecommendation@gmail.com. That's how you want to get that information into me, because I want to interview them, and they mostly want the exposure. It's just trying to get all the things crossed. So, yes, well, I'd love to do that. And they're just the coolest people, right? I just love independent-minded entrepreneurs, and it's so great. Final question here, because it's about Route 66. Yes, you're going to see this on the website here, Bobby, so watch for that. And I'm trying to pull that together now. I don't want to get too far out, but we definitely, the first last couple of weeks in July, we're going to do our first caravan kickoff on July 15 at Pontiac, and we're going to go to Springfield, and then Springfield to St. Louis, and I haven't figured out what's after that because that's about 4 or 5 days there. And we'll do a whole video about this. We'll do lots of tee up. It's going to be a fair amount of organizing, but I think it's going to be a great amount of fun. So if you have any tips on what to see or avoid, just staying on the road is going to be kind of a challenge. But I might have a special announcement as we kick that off. I might have a passenger with me, not a cat, although he's a cool cat. So we'll see. Michael Clark stood on the grassy knoll. Yeah, that whole thing. I think every American should go see this, that whole site. All right. So with that, we say thank you. And it's been a great show tonight. Great audience participation. Amazing questions. Thank you for joining, watching the replay, commenting. Thumb up, please. And subscribe to the channel. If you're new, into vans, into travel, into RVing in general, it'd be an honor to have you part of this channel. And you'll get a ton out of it, I'm pretty sure. So with that, we say thank you again. And until we see you soon, I wish you to journey on. Take care.